Welcome back. Now, the face-off between the Minister of State for Labour and the National Assembly is not showing any sign of abating at all because the minister, that's Keyamo now, has refused, of course, to bow to any form of pressure from members of the National Assembly over the 774,000 jobs recruitment exercise now of the federal government. Now, after their very first clash, Keyamo reappeared before the joint panel on Labour with his principal, Chris Ngige, who then tendered an apology to the legislators on behalf of the ministry. Responding to the apology, Senate President Ahmed Lawan nullified all the previous implementation efforts of the Ministry of Labour and directed the National Directorate of Employment to submit a fresh work plan for the project. But Keyamo insists that order is not binding on him and the program cannot be implemented without his approval. Let's discuss this more. I'm now being joined on the program by Nelson Kujimi, who is a political analyst. Nelson, thank you very much for joining us on the program. What do you make of this? We all thought during that second meeting when the Minister of Labour himself, Chris Ngige, apologized to the lawmakers now on behalf of the ministry and, of course, on behalf of the Minister of State for Labour. One would have thought the issue would have been sorted out. But then we saw a meeting that even the Senate President attended, and then the Senate President, of course, issuing fresh orders, so to speak.
Well, thank you for having me. I think it's important for us all to recognize that we operate a constitutional democracy in which the functions of the three arms of government are clearly stated in the Constitution. What the Senate President or the National Assembly as a whole has done amounts to legislative rascality, because nowhere in the Constitution is the National Assembly empowered to implement government actions or to implement policies. The functions of the legislator is to make laws, and the functions of the executive is to implement the laws. But in this case, we have seen a situation whereby the legislature is trying to assert the Constitution by taking over the functions of the executive. And that is an aberration. That must not be condoned in any form. That's why some of us were alarmed and shocked by the apology tendered by the minister.
Yes, I was just going to ask you, was that apology actually necessary? Because if you ask me, I think it wasn't necessary. That the Minister of Labour going there to apologize to the lawmakers means he was conceding that the Minister of State for Labour was wrong.
Yes, absolutely. That was what the apology implied. But you and I know for a fact that the Minister of State for Labour has stood his grounds that this is a project that is being implemented by the executive, and nowhere the minister was even benevolent enough to ask the legislators to show him where it is written in the Constitution that they can give directive to the executive on the implementation of the law. And I have not seen anywhere in the Nigerian Constitution where it's written. And you and I know for a fact that the Nigerian Constitution is written in English language, which is our lingua franca. So we want to ask, is it that the Nigerian legislators, the members of the National Assembly, are not abreast with their functions, or they are trying to assume the role of a guardian angel over our Constitution, which the Constitution does not confer on them that power?
Now, we're definitely going to listen to what the Minister of State for Labour actually had to say about the outcome of that meeting, because Festus Keyamo did address the press after that meeting. We're going to play the video very shortly now, but let me just ask you this. What do you think is behind all of this? Because the impression I am beginning to get is that, look, this is about the lawmakers wanting a piece of the pie. And the Minister of Labour did say that they've been given 15% slot, so it probably means they want something bigger.
Yes, the issue at hand is that the legislature has graduated from budget padding, which they were notorious for, to slotism, if you permit me the use of that word. That for every government project, every government policy, they want a piece of the cake. And I think that is very, very unparliamentary of them, because they have come out publicly. They have tried severally to castigate the Minister of State for Labour. pretending as if they were fighting for the common man. And we all know that the project is about the employment of 1,000 Nigerians per local government, and they claim they are representing constituency. We need to ask them if those 774 local governments in Nigeria are not within their constituency. Why are they asking for slots for themselves? It tells you clearly that these legislators are more interested in what they can get for themselves rather than what can benefit the mass of the Nigerian people. And for me, it is very, very absurd that the legislators can, be overreaching themselves in a matter that they have no constitutional powers to do so. The Constitution is the ground norm, is the Bible of the Nigerian state. And we need to ensure that every arm of government or citizens keep to the rules of engagement with regards to their responsibilities and functions as stipulated in the Constitution. So I think Nigerians must rally around the Minister of State and ensure that the arbitrary, the reckless, the provocative, the irresponsible directive from the Senate President as well as the National Assembly, is made to be what it is, that it is an exercise in futility because they don't have the powers to do that under the law. They are just taking a walk in the park, if you ask me.
Okay, let's just quickly take a lesson now to what the Minister of Labour actually had to say immediately after that second meeting with the lawmakers.
The minister shall inaugurate committees, shall constitute committees for the NDA. The Director General of NDA has no such powers to constitute committees by law. He has no such powers under the law. So when you now say go back and do your work plan and come, are you telling the Director General to break the law? Are you telling the General to disobey his appointee, which is the President? Are you telling the Director General to disobey his immediate boss, which is the Minister? So that is where we are on this issue. So I will go back to my employer, Mr. President. Mr. President will give directives. The directives as to execution of a project is not binding on me. The directives of the National Assembly is not binding on me. This is a great constitutional issue that will go to the Attorney General at the end of the day for interpretation. Except, like I said, Mr. President says I should step aside and allow them hijack the process. Because the game, like you have seen today, is simply that they are conniving with a certain functionary of government to design the program, hijack the program against the wishes of Nigerians. Hijack it, and that is what I have been against. And I will continue to stand by that. I am sorry, I apologize, these are very distinguished members, but the law is the law.
Now, Nelson, you heard the minister there. Truth is that, do these lawmakers actually have the right to ask the Director General of NDE now to go and prepare his work plan and then bring to them? Wouldn't that be usurpation of responsibility? Because it's actually baffling. Does it mean we're going to come to a situation where the National Assembly will now begin to instruct the heads of various government agencies to draft their work plans and bring to them when appropriation has been made? So what is supposed to be the responsibility of the ministry now overseeing such agencies?
Yes, thank you very much. The Minister of State for Labour has stated it clearly in that interview you just showed, that the Constitution does not give the Director General of NDE, National Directors of Employment, the powers to do what the National Assembly has told him to do. And like he has already said, it amounts to, an illegality. And that is why I said clearly that when we started that we operate a constitutional democracy in which the functions and responsibilities of every arm of government is clearly stated. You recollect the other time when the 8th National Assembly were insisting that the Controller General of Customs Service should come to the National Assembly in uniform, while he is not a serving custom officer. That was how the Nigerian people stood resolutely behind that man. And at the end of the day, we asked them, show us where it is written in the Constitution that you have this pass. A lot of times the legislators have behaved as if they are above the law. And we are saying to them, you are not above the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The National Assembly is the creation of the Constitution. And it behoves on the members of the National Assembly to respect the constitution that gives birth to that great institution. They should stop assaulting the integrity of the National Assembly with legislative rascality that they have experienced.
Well, unfortunately, we lost Nelson there, but that's how much we can take on the program this week. We thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next week. But until then, if you still want to follow the conversation, all you need to do is go to our website, tv360nigeria.com. You'll find this program and lots more there. You can also follow us on our various social media platforms. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.